Hello and welcome to the channel. So we are getting another video in before Christmas, and Lee at the shop was breveting in the cellar, and he found a few bits and bobs, so he's handed them to me to check over, and we're going to have a bit of a play with these. So this, if you live in the UK, you may well have seen one of these before, but probably not in the States. So this is a Carlsbro ADR1, is it? I can remember these when I was a kid. ADR1, I think it is. So we're going to open this up and have a look. One of the side panels is already off it. There, let me just go back a bit with the zoom. There we go. So this has got ADT, I think that's chorus, I think they used to call that. It's chorus or flange, something along those lines. Echo, and then it's got reverb in it as well. And this unit was usually used in conjunction with the Marlin PAs, and we've actually got one of those as well, so we're going to have a look at it. So a bit of an Aladdin's cave in Lee's cellar, apparently. There's copious amounts of stuff found. We've only got one bolt in here. Now, normally when we see bolts missing out of things, it usually tells us that someone's been in here, and just back out a bit more. Someone's been in here trying to fix it, i.e. our friend William Bodger. So you take these side panels off, and then this is supposed to slide out, except it won't slide out. So let's try the bottom one, see if we get any luck with that one, and there we go. But that's not really the side we want to start off with. Right, so we've got the top off, and the reason that wouldn't come off is because the reverb unit was fastened to it. So we've managed to disconnect the reverb unit and so on. You can see there's a bit of a IC extravaganza going on in this, and we've got 1 2 3 4 5 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 18 19. There's about 20 there, and then there's a small one here, an 8-pin one. So yes, there's a rotary switch there. Got some capacitors here that are rather loose, so we'll need to check those, see if they're dry jointed, and they're probably worn out as well. What are those? They are 1000 microfarad at 25 volts. 1000 microfarad at 25 volts. And we've got some smaller ones there, which you can't see exactly what they are. They are no idea without some better glasses. And I just thought I'd open this up first before I plug it in, because obviously it hasn't been plugged in for a number of years. They are 220 at 25 volts. They'll probably need replacing, but my main goal is to see if this works, because what we're going to do is have a play around with it rather than set out to mend it. So we just want to check that there's nothing short or sinister going on before we plug this in. So let's just see, shall we? Start with him. You can't see that, can you? Monitoring for component. That's not a very good start, is it? Let's start again. Measuring in circuit leaky. That doesn't look good, does it? And this one, $1,685. So that one's not great either, considering it should be 1,000. And the other one I think is here. Those two. Those two. Well, they don't look very good at all. They don't. So I think we can safely say that they're tainted. They're not good at all. Not good at all. Might have to have a bit of a search around then and just swap those before we plug it in. We don't know what else has tainted, but I'm afraid they're like Mrs. Blenkinsop's TV. Blown, madam. I was hoping that they'd be okay because we could fire this up. It shouldn't take long to change those. Let me have a brevet and see what we've got. There we go. So we've got the caps for this. We've got 220 at 35 and we've got 1,000 at 35. Those will be most excellent. So it won't take long to get those in. And then we can fire it up once we've got those in. Right, we'll see if we can get these out. So I've been trying to catch up with the comments on the channel as well, and I do try and read through most of the comments, even though I can't always find the time to reply to all of them. Just a kind of generalised browse through when I'm having a cup of tea or something. And in the last video I mentioned that I'd had the odd comment saying that they were struggling to understand my accent, and a lot of you regular watchers have commented and to say that they have no problem with my accent, and someone even commented that that was the reason they watched the channel. So and I have to say that reading those did make me feel a lot better, because when you know you get the odd comment, people saying, you know, struggling to understand what you're saying, you start thinking, oh, am I doing this right or whatever. But yes, there's been some really nice comments from people. So thank you to everyone that commented, and thanks to all you people that watch the channel and support it, and all the information as well that you give me, because some of you guys out there really know your stuff. Let's test this out of circuit now, this 1,000 microfarad. Give this a test. I don't know how well this is coming out, because maybe just lower this camera a smidging. There, probably see a bit better now. It's quite difficult when I'm actually sat below the camera now. So let's give this a test and see if it really is swaged. So it is always better to test them out of circuit. Well, I find it is anyway. Well, that has now measured but 1,196, so it's probably leaky. It's actually tested better than it did in there, but we might as well swap it. Well, we're going to swap it anyway, because we've already got the said item to swap it for. Just looking to, let's go to those two. Now I've decided to take some time off over Christmas, and me being me, I've decided that we're going to build an amplifier, or at least wade well into it. Whether we'll finish it over Christmas, because it's quite a project. So a couple of years ago I built a prototype amp, which I just threw together really using some television tubes, and I always said I wanted to build a proper one that was a little bit more professional. Having said that, the one that I built, I've been using it for gigs since I've built it, and I've not had an ounce of trouble with it. But it was really just thrown together. So we're going to be doing that, and it is quite a feat, because as most of you know that's worked on televisions before, television tubes have different filament voltages to what's used in guitar amplifiers, and of course we have to match the voltage up for those. And that will be one of the challenges. So in the last video, the last amp I built, I used a PCF80, which is a triode pentode tube, and then we had the first stage coming into the triode of the PCF80, then we went into the pentode, then we went into the triode of a PCC85, and then we had a cathode phase inverter, and that gave me quite a lot of gain. I had to really attenuate a lot of that. But this time we're going to use the PCF80 again, and then we're going to use the PCC85 as a long tail pair phase inverter. Now I used PL84s for the output tubes. I had a brand new set of mullards, and I think they cost me about £2 each. So we've been using those, and they've done nearly 900 hours now, and I overvolted those on the plates by 60 volts, and they are still going strong. But this time we're not going to use the PL80s, we're going to use a pair of PL508s, which can take a lot more plate voltage, around 400 volts. Now it's going to be built into a Blackstar HT20 head chassis. The last one I built into a Blackstar HT5 chassis, so this time it's going to be an HT20, a little bit bigger chassis. I'm doing all the spoilers here. So that's what we're going to be doing over Christmas. And I actually did do a video on that Blackstar HD20 before we decided to use it as a donor amp. So that's what we're going to be doing over Christmas, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it as one long video, and I think it'll just be too long then. It'll probably be 2 or 3 hours. So I'm probably going to do it in parts, and I might just do it in, there might be 3 or 4 parts. So that's generally what I'm going to be doing. So if you're interested in watching me try and design an amp, then tune in. Anyway, that's got those out while I'm waffling away. Let's test those, shall we? Let's give those a test. So we'll try this one. That says 253. So again, looking at that, so testing leaky in circuit, but not when they're out of circuit. And that's what I say, sometimes testing these in circuit is not accurate, even with this. Let's try this one, 251. So they've gone high on the microfarads, which usually tells you that they're probably leaky. This doesn't measure for leakage. We do have an item somewhere. The Finsbury, this Finersi, or Finsbury as I call them. Let's see if we can get this in here and test it with this. The leads might be a bit short actually, and they are. Unfortunately, we'll try, see if we can. let's see. Can you see that? Yeah. Takes about a week to analyse it. 260 microfarad. Loss is 1.3 and well, that's about right what we've got on that one. But we've got, as I say, we've got 1.3% loss. So yeah, a bit tired that. Let's try this one. And again, see if this. Three weeks later, and there we go again, 1.3. So yeah, I would say that's not great. See if we can get one of these in there. I don't know whether we can. We'll try. Oops, pressed the wrong button. I bet that's shining on that. Well, that just says damage, so maybe that just won't read that because we can't get that in properly. We'll have one more try. Nope, won't read that. So we don't know, but anyway, they've had it. I ain't messing around with those anymore. So we'll get them put in. What we need now is some alcohol to clean that board up before we put the new ones in. Like so. Now, of course, we've got to find an amplifier to put this through as well, because this is just an effects unit. I've just spotted another capacitor in there. I don't know why I didn't see that. I've just spotted another one there. I think we've got some glue on there, you know. Oh, look at that mess. Can't leave that, can we? Duh. So we'll have to clean that off. I think we'll have to soak that off. I don't think you want to sit and watch me soak that off there, do you? I'll come back when I've sorted that. Right, that's got the glue off. And these caps are in series. So I'm just going to check those balancing resistors that we've got. Stick that up there. Just going to check those balancing resistors. 100k each. Just to make sure that they're not swaged in any way. I think they're 100k anyway. I'm just trying to read them. Oh no, they're not. They are 470. That says 458. Can't see whether that's purple or blue. Let's try this one. Well, there's nothing on that one, is there? There we go. 461. And 458. They're close enough. Yeah, as long as they're roughly equal. That's good. So that's those tested. So I suppose we better get the capacitors back in. Most of that, yeah, glue up. Yeah, that's just a bit there. That's good. That's just a small remnant of it now. There we go. That'll do nicely. So that's those in. Now we just need to get some gumption around those.
Gumption, 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 gumption. Gumption, 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 gumption.
Because sadly they won't go flat in the holes. And yet those other caps have got a wider diameter. I think these are more like snap-ins than, I don't know, just got a different lead diameter. But they're okay. It's only a budget thing. We'll just get some silicone around them and they'll be fine. But we'll do that later, because what we want to do is get this powered up. Just going to put some bolts back in it. I'll just get the hoover on this mess first. And then we can look at plugging it in. Right, I've just whipped that cap out that was on the board, and it's a 220 at 25, same as the other two we've swapped. Oh, is that not in correctly? The leads are a bit short on these, as I said, so it's quite hard to get them into hoyers. I think we might be struggling with this one. We'll have one last try. Oh, there we go. 1% loss, 0.4 ESR, 242. So yeah, not brilliant, but I mean, it'd work, it'd do. You know, it would do the job. But I thought, well, I've got all the, we've got it in bits, and it only took, literally took 20 seconds to get that out. So I'll drop another one in, and then we've recapped it really. I mean, there's all these capacitors on the board here, and some of those might be, you know, but I just want to get this. I've just spotted some more now. Do you know, sometimes we just come back here, we've got some more. We've got another one there, and we've got, oh dear, there, we've got 4 here, and then we've got another one over there in the naughty corner. Not sure what they are. Have to get some bigger glasses on. There we go. Let's have a look. Now I've got the Eltons on. 63 volts at 10 microfarad. That one is. I presume the others are the same. Yeah, 10 microfarad at 63 volts, those. So surely there's not 63 volts on there when there's only, what would they be, double? So what, 25, 50 volts on here? Don't know, maybe there is then. It's not a unit that I'm familiar with. Right, we'll just go and find another cap, and then we'll bang that in, and we'll power it up, not bother changing these. As long as I was just concerned when we tested those that there were shorts on them. Right, we've got that capacitor here. I have actually broken up now for Christmas, but you know what I'm like. I took the last repairs back to the shop today, and spotted this, and I knew he'd been breveting in the cellar, so I knew there'd be some goodies. And as soon as I saw this, I thought, yes, that's we'll have that. And then it's like anything else, I'm sat there twiddling my thumbs, and I just looked at this and thought, we'll have a play with that. So kind of what's known as a busman's holiday, is it? something along those lines. It's a bit rickety without the boards in. You can bet those other caps aren't great either, but so one of the reasons why I can remember these from years ago is, as I've mentioned on the channel before, that I grew up in the same town that these were manufactured in. Carlsbro was in Kirkby and Ashfield. I did actually go to the factory towards the end of it in the early 2000s, not long before it finally closed its doors. So I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for Carlsbro stuff. These, I remember, were quite expensive when they came out. They weren't cheap. So I think that's enough recapping for one day. But yes. So we've got the reverb tank still out. Now we need to apply some, we'll just apply some power to it first. Let's have a look what we've got on the front then. I'll have to lift the camera up again now. So let's have a look what we've got on the front. So we've got out, and we've got foot switch and direct out, I would imagine that is. I don't know. Low and high, not sure on that. We'll have to investigate it. And then we've just got a couple of in channels here, so you can see two inputs, the D, which is, I would say, direct out, maybe foot switch, and then we've got some outs there. So, not stereo, this. Trying to think when these were made now. Probably early to mid 80s, probably early 80s, mid 80s, somewhere around there. Yeah, I would have thought. Right, what we need to do first is unplug these, because I don't want those suddenly found dangling in the on the board there and blowing some of those ICs. So that's that, and yeah, let's put it back in shot. So yes, we've removed the reverb cables. So we need to get a power lead. We need to put it on the current limiter, and I think we'll go for quite a small bulb. It's not going to draw a lot of current, this. So I think 25 watts will be enough for this. Probably even that's a fair bit, but unless of course there's a short on it. And as soon as I said short, then I went straight and looked at the caps to make sure I've put them all in the correct way. Right, I've got it plugged in. I've got the bulb on. Let's apply power. It's drawing 100 milliamps, sorry, 10 milliamps, sorry. 10 milliamps. So not drawing a lot of current. So we need to get it plugged into an amplifier, and we need to get the guitar plugged into it so we can at least test this. See if that, now that's not working there. That is, but that's not. There's an LED there, so it looks like that isn't working. So that's reverb on, reverb off. That thing for the foot switch, is that effect, or not sure what that, or is that, not sure what that is. I think that's a peak light for the input. I'm guessing that LED. Not sure about that one. Let's get it plugged into an amplifier of some description and see what we can get out of it. Right, I've got it plugged in to a Fender Champion 600, one that I hand wired for which we use for teaching. And we don't seem to be getting a lot out of it. Ah. So that's the if we look on there, just see, let me just, there we go, got a bit more light on the dials now, so you can see it there on number 1. Ah, so that's the, see, that is a bit like, yes. So yeah, that's just like chorus really. Why the LED is not working there, I don't know. But yes, if you put too much of that in, it does get a bit out of tune. Oh, that's in requirement of some gumption. Let's try the echo then and see what's going on with that. A little noisy as well. Got the guitar sliding off my knee there. The last one. So some of them don't seem to do a lot. setting number 2 there seems to work. Delay, this is regen. Let's just take that to minimum. So let's put that to max. And that's the volume for it. Very rusty at that now. The arthritis, I really don't do much. I can only Travis pick for a couple of minutes now, and then it begins to really burn. Yes, so that works. That doesn't do anything. So is this switch, is this in need of some gumption as well? Or have we just lost a chip off the board, one of the ICs? That one works. Setting. See if the reverb won't work because I've not got the tank plugged in. We can do that later. Let's try the other channel. So we've got something on there, next one, nothing on there, nothing on there, but something on there. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. The volume works. Switches off both of those effects. So yes, this not all together there, is it? And of course the disadvantage as well is that you could only have one of these effects on, so you can either have the delay on or you can have the chorus on there. And if we flick that again back, they did make some great effects pedals, Carlsbro. I did have a few when I was a teenager. I think I had a phaser. They fetch quite a lot of money now, Carlsbro. Effects do. And they were really good quality. So yeah, only as we've got that working. And then we've got the next to the last one working. There's no speed on it either from what I can work out. Oh, so the regen is the adjust the repeat. Just go up. Yeah. Yeah, so there's no speed adjustment on it. Just amount of delay and then how many repeats we've got there. And that's slightly slower than, but the third one, what does that have? Oh yes, there's something on that one. Fourth one. Can't hear anything different on that one. Let's just turn the volume down off there. Don't know. So yes, so we have got a slight nothing on that one. And then the end one, we don't have anything on there. So maybe one of those ICs is kaput. Good luck getting one of those, and I have to say I've not massively experienced with those things. So I mean, it would just be trial and error really, changing them even if we'd got one. So the chorus works. 90% of that works. The reverb we can't test with that. The tank. So there we go. It works as to a fashion. It needs the pots cleaning and a few other bits and bobs doing to it, but yeah, basically it works. And there's a little bit of frying, and I can assure you that's not on this amp there, so that may just be yes. That's a bit swishy. Yeah, it's a bit of frying there going on. Let's pull the lead out. Maybe we could reseat some of the chips. Just take them out, spray a bit of Gemption in them, and then put the chips back in, the ICs. But yes, definitely some frying going on. But yeah, it's a useful. I mean, this has been made for vocals, really. But, you know, if you were a solo artist, you know, with your acoustic guitar plug through there, you've got some choices. You just can't have both of these on together. You can only have the chorus on, or you can have the delay on there and the reverb. You can have the. It looks like you can have the reverb on with with those effects. That seems to be working. You've got to remember this is probably 40 years old, so we're very close to that. Right, so there's not really a lot more I can film on this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change these 10 microfarad caps and the one that's in the naughty corner over there. I'm going to reseat all these ICs, just spray the sockets and reseat them all. And then, I mean, we have got these caps, but it's like, how far do I go with this? It's, I think they're 4 point, that says 4.7. Okay, I can't read what's on those. Let me see if I can find the Eltons. I think that's 4.7 at 63. We don't know whether that's microfarad or nanofarad because it can't really read. That's what that looks like, 4.7 at 63. So we'd have to look at those. But again, how far do we go with this? You know, it's budget unit. And how many of those is there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 4. There's loads of them, probably over 20. So I think we'll leave those for the time being. We'll just focus on those electrolytics and these chips, clean the pots, and I say this rotary switch, and then we'll test it again and see what it's like. But we'll test it again in another video because I've got some other units to test as well. So what we'll do is we'll look at another unit, and that's a really nice unit, another effects unit, analog one, same as this, and then what we'll do, we'll test them on the guitar at the end of that video as well, and that should be a result. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. I'll wish you Merry Christmas again, and all of you, but I'll probably see you before Christmas, because you know what I'm like. Even when I'm on holiday, I'm not on holiday. So you all take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye for now.